Okay, my love, so for today's session we are going to go ahead and come straight down to the floor and just roll to one side, reaching the arms out, stacking one on top of the other and just pulling the knees in towards the chest, stacking the hips and the shoulders here. Take a breath. And for our first exercise, we're going to start sliding the fingers of the top hand forward and then gliding them back up the inside of that resting arm. Keeping the breath nice and smooth and even here, reaching that little bit further forward and then gliding up past the crease of the wrist towards the elbow. Again, reaching a little bit further forward, coming towards the elbow, and really feel into the shoulder blade of that working arm. Feel it wrap around the rib cage as you slide the hand forward and pull in towards the spine as you glide back. Imagine that you're pulling an arrow back in the bowstring here, starting to take that elbow back behind you, the shoulder blade of that working arm starting to come towards the floor. Let the head and the neck join in. Doing a couple more, and then eventually we'll reach out through both arms and settle ourselves in a supine twist where we will stay for a few breaths here. Allow the body to settle. Nice deep breaths in. Nice slow breaths out. Bringing that working arm back over, planting the palms one on top of the other. Take a moment to rest here. And then for our next exercise, you're going to slide that top hand forward, keeping the fingertips on the floor. Glide the hand up past the head as though you're reaching towards 12 o'clock. Bringing that hand up and over, elongating through the armpit space, through the side of the waist. Perhaps that upper arm starts to cross over that ear. Noticing when you want to flip that palm. As you begin to reach that arm up and all the way over, we're going to roll the upper body back into the twist, drawing a big rainbow arc with that working arm, up and over, back and forth 2 or 3 times. And again, settling into your twist. After this next one. Finding that nice full breath in. Emptying completely on the exhale. Take a breath. And then we come back to our starting position through that big rainbow arc, settling palm to palm. And this time we're going to open up that working arm as though you are just opening and closing the cover of a book here. Perhaps following the thumbnail with your gaze. So again, let the head and the neck join in the whole movement. And we'll open and close maybe 5 or 6 times. And then settling one final time back into our twist. Nice, smooth, full breath. Bringing that working arm up and over. You're going to reach that hand forward and then arc it up towards 12 o'clock again. And then extend that top leg. So we're making a big long side stretch through the top side of the body. And take a moment to feel into that stretch here. See if you can stack the hips so that you're neither rolling forward nor back. Feeling a long side body stretch from the outside of the ankle, across the hip, through the waist, big armpit space, and out of that arm. And then when you're ready, pulling that hand in close to the face. I'm going to keep the knees stacked to the side here. And then just rotate the upper body. Come to rest on the elbows so you're in a Sphinx pose. Resting the weight through the elbows and the hands. Finding a comfortable position for the neck. Counting the breath in. And out. And in. And out. And after your next breath, just stack the hands on top of one another, rest the forehead on the back of the hands. And you're going to extend the legs straight out behind you, so you're just lying on your tummy here. Take a breath. And then we're going to send that working arm out to the side, the palm on the floor. Bend the knees and just windshield wiper the lower legs side to side here. We're going to come into aeroplane pose. So you're going to roll onto that working arm and step that top foot to the floor behind you so the knees open out here. Adjust the shape of the posture so that you're comfortable. And then we'll reach the other arm up into the air and spiral the shoulder in and out, spiraling in and out, feeling that corkscrew spiral starting in the shoulder, crisscrossing at the elbow, the wrist. You're going to roll that shoulder in and then take the forearm behind, either letting the fingertips find the waistband or the floor behind you. Counting those slow breaths before bringing that hand back next to the face. Ease yourself off that shoulder. One more time, resting the forehead on the back of the hands. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands under the shoulders. We're going to loop the shoulders back away from the ears. Tuck the toes. And then you're going to press yourself up onto all fours. Cross the ankles. Roll through. And then we're going to come lie down on our opposite side. So you'll still be facing the same direction here. Take your time, setting yourself up to do the same little series of exercises on the other side. Starting palm to palm, and then we slide that top hand forward and then up the inside of the wrist, sliding forward, gliding back, sliding forward, gliding those fingertips up towards the elbow, starting to imagine that you're pulling your arrow back in its bowstring, taking that elbow back behind you. Let the head and the neck join in. Starting to take that shoulder blade towards the floor, gliding back each time, and then eventually we open out into our twist, settle the body and hold. Counting the breaths here. We're going to bring that working arm back across, stacking the palms, and then sliding that top hand forward, and then taking those fingertips up and over. Keep the hand on the floor as much as possible, reaching up towards 12 o'clock, drawing your big arc on the floor. Perhaps starting to take that upper arm back behind the ear. Noticing when the urge to flip that palm comes, letting the head and neck roll. Before taking that arm all the way over in your arc, let the whole upper body go with you. Drawing that big rainbow arc forward and back 2 or 3 times. And then holding in your twist. Gently bringing that arm back up and over, pausing to rest. And then just as though you're opening the spine of a book, moving that working arm straight up and over, letting gravity just bring the back of the arm towards the floor. Go at your own speed. Can you follow the thumb with your gaze? And then one last time, settling into this twist. Slowly bring the arm back to your starting position. And then from here, we're going to take that long side body stretch again. So send those top fingertips up towards 12 o'clock and reach that top leg for the back of the mat. Stack your hips so you're not leaning forward or back. Find your center of gravity here. Notice if your low back is arching significantly. Find a nice neutral feeling position for the pelvis. And pay attention to those sensations in the top side of the body, from the ankle through the outer knee, the outer hip, the rib cage, the armpit space. From here, we're going to slowly come into our twisted Sphinx pose. Resting the weight on the elbows. Counting 3 slow breaths. And then lowering the head to the back of the hands. Send the legs out long behind you. Going to send that working arm out to the side. Just windshield wiper the knees side to side here. Slowly, slowly rolling onto that hip. Step that top foot to the floor behind you if you're able, or otherwise just leave the hips stacked here. We're going to reach the other arm into the air and spiral in and out a few times, feeling that corkscrew starting in the shoulder, crossing the elbow, the forearms and the wrist. And then when you're ready, roll the shoulder in, take the arm behind, the fingertips finding the waistband of your trousers or the floor behind you. Bring that arm back up and over, slowly dropping the knees, easing yourself off the front of that shoulder. Bringing the hands in, tucking the toes, big roll of the shoulders away from the ears. Press yourself up onto hands and knees. Cross the ankles, roll through. We're just going to take a nice easy cross-legged seat here to finish. When you're ready, take a few big shoulder rolls, give it all a wiggle. Bring the hands to the heart. Bow the head. Om Shanti. Shanti peace. Namaste.